December 1938. New Jersey. A young man of 23 sat under the harsh glare of a police camera, accused of seducing a married woman. The photo captured more than a crime. It froze a moment of defiance, anxiety, and raw vulnerability. Nobody could have guessed that this thin, restless youth would one day become the voice echoing through the entire 20th century. Yet, from that scandal, a legend began to take shape, forged by relentless ambition, raw talent, and wounds that never fully healed. Frank Sinatra wasn't just a singer. He was a storm contained in a tuxedo. His voice could make a crowded room fall silent with a single phrase. Yet behind that charm lay a man constantly balancing brilliance with chaos. Careers collapsed, marriages broke, friendships frayed, all under the relentless pressure to prove he belonged. Every performance was a confrontation with survival itself, a negotiation between the glow of the spotlight and the darkness that followed him home. Born Francis Albert Sinatra on December 12, 1915, in a cramped Hoboken kitchen, he arrived after a traumatic birth, bruised and scarred, and nearly lost. Those scars, etched across his face, became silent witnesses to a life of constant scrutiny. Growing up as an only child in a noisy Italian neighborhood, he was often left to his own devices, learning early to find comfort in music and the radio. The nickname, Scarface, followed him at school, and rather than breaking him, it carved resilience and obsession with self-presentation. Every reflection, every note sung along the radio, became a rehearsal for survival, for mastery. By the mid-1930s, Sinatra joined small vocal groups, traveling across states, performing in cramped dance halls and radio studios, scraping together a living while his voice matured. There was no sudden breakthrough, only a series of small, grueling steps. When he joined Harry James's orchestra in 1939, and later Tommy Dorsey's in 1940, his craft became disciplined, his phrasing precise, his intimacy with listeners unmistakable. I'll Never Smile Again didn't just top the charts, it introduced a new style of connection, the idea that a singer could speak directly into a listener's ear, a private confession broadcast to millions. Yet success came with its own storms. Marriages dissolved, passionate affairs flared, and personal tragedies, the kidnapping of his son, the losses of loved ones, left him exposed. He loved fiercely, lost publicly, and rebuilt relentlessly. The 1950s and 60s marked reinvention. Oscars, record-breaking albums, and the Rat Pack's Las Vegas dominance. Sinatra's genius was not only his voice but his ability to command the entire space around him, to turn presence itself into art. Through decades, his voice evolved with age, gaining weight and texture, each phrase carrying the echoes of struggle, heartbreak, and triumph. Even as trends shifted around him, he refused to bend fully to the new world, choosing authenticity over fleeting popularity. From the teenage screams outside theaters to the quiet, sold-out residencies later in life, Sinatra's legacy was more than music. It was the embodiment of persistence, control, and the human vulnerability that fuels greatness. When Frank Sinatra died in 1998 at 82, the world didn't just lose a singer. It lost a storyteller whose voice carried lifetimes of love, pain, and resilience. He left behind a blueprint. How a voice can capture more than sound, it can hold history, memory, and the essence of what it means to live fully, even amid chaos. Every note he sang remains a bridge between the boy in Hoboken and the immortal icon, proof that a life, no matter how scarred, can resonate forever.